and other stuff. Quite a nice shader, Skybox. That's completely procedural Skybox, which is it's nearly free. I know this guy called Red Sim, and he's got a patron. And if you go on his patron and pay a fiver or something, you can get his shaders. That's one of them. This is his as well. The water shader. It's quite a nice water shader. Quite a nice shader, Skybox. That's completely procedural Skybox, which is
But
it's
anyway,
nearly
right,
free.
what was I going to show you guys
I
today?
know this guy called Red Sim, and he's got a patron. And if you go on his
Yeah, Les
patron
is
and
here. Hi, Les.
pay a fiver or something, you can get his shaders. That's one of them. This is his as well. The water
The
shader.
first thing
It's quite
I
a
wanted
nice
to
water
show,
shader.
let's
Quite a
go
nice
into a new
shader,
scene.
Skybox.
Let's make
That's
sure I save that
completely
one first.
procedural Skybox, which is
But
it's
anyway,
nearly
right, what
free.
was I going to show you guys
I
today?
know.
And yeah, the first thing I wanted to show was when I did that tutorial on audio reactive stuff. Towards the end of it, I showed you guys a. Oh, that's small. Let's focus on that. I showed you guys how to change the pivot point in this cube by putting it into an empty to get this pivot to be at the bottom of the cube, which is, that's a good simple way of doing it, but you're not actually changing the mesh. You've then got two objects, which I doubt it makes that much more impact, but I'm one of these people that says, why have it in an empty? Don't have to. Um, so normally what I do is I would change that in Blender. But since doing the cave tutorial, playing with Pro Builder, um, found that Pro Builder can move the pivot point as well. There's a couple of other things out there like Super Pivot and stuff like that, but I tend to not ever kind of install those assets in a project. Whereas recently I've had Pro Builder permanently running in a project, so I just figured show you how. So anyway, let's put Pro Builder on Pro Builder window. Right, so this is not even a Pro Builder object, and this is the point. So you do it with pretty much anything off the store, and there's often assets on the store that unbelievably that have got the pivots completely wrong. Yeah, I actually believe that Unity should make creators make their pivots right when they're making stuff for a platform. At least go to the effort to get your pivots right, but some don't. So anyway, what you do to take over any object with Pro Builder is click on that object and go Pro Builderize. You probably can't see my mouse. That's a good point, actually. Can you see my mouse on that thing? No, you can't. Oh, you can see me highlight it though. That's yeah, it's coming up with that. I wonder if I could get another mouse pointer, a much bigger one, it would show up on the screen share or not. Or it's just the screen share is not seeing the mouse pointer. Don't know. Anyway, so you Pro Builderize, you click on that. You can click plus, and then you've got a few settings: import quads, import moving the threshold. I mean, you don't really need to worry about that. Just click Pro Builderize. Oh, it said nothing selected, but it has actually done it because you can see the Pro Builder outline has appeared around the object. Not sure why it said nothing selected when it's actually done what I asked it to do. So anyway, that's the first step. Now I've made that object a Pro Builder object that I can adjust. This is quite handy as well for other things. Just say you had well, actually, you could just use a Pro Builder object, but one of the other things I found this useful, and it's going to be done in my in my volcano thing. Pro Builderize that. Oh yeah, Pro Builderize that. my volcano is in the middle of here, and you know, this, imagine this is my water plane. My Pro Builder is in the middle of here. Sorry, my volcano is in the middle of here, and I've made that terrain hole that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. So I've got through the terrain, and I'm going down into my cave. But eventually, I'm going to hit this as well. Um, this is one thing that Pro Builder is quite handy to do, because you can literally just select a load of faces. Is it not? Yeah, like this, which is say the ones that are under my island, and then just hit delete faces. That's one thing I wanted to show you. I got a tiny bit sidetracked there. Let's go back to this one. So I want to make that pivot at the bottom, and what you do is actually there's a way of making the pivot go to 0, 0, 0. I'm going to move the object to 0 because I want to be able to see it. 0, 0, right. So yeah, that pivot is at 0, 0, 0, and I want to move the pivot to the bottom of this thing. So what I've got to do is basically move the cube up so it's out of 0, 0, 0. So I'm going to move a bit like I did in when I added, if people remember, I added the cube into the empty and then moved it around inside the empty to get the pivot to the right place. So I'm kind of doing exactly the same thing here. I'm going to move it to -5 there. Why the hell did that go all the way down there? That's not right. Sorry, that shouldn't have moved that far. Let's just see what happens if I move it up. Ah, that's why. It's because I was on that. There we go. So now if I move -5, it should go to the right place. Oh no, it's still going down there. Let's move it up a bit. Ah, maybe I just need to. Oh, wait a sec. It's 0.5, isn't it? So I'm just going to move it 0.5. So there you go. I've moved it 0.5 upwards. And now I can just hit in Pro Builder freeze transform. And that will send the transform back down to 0, 0, 0. There you go. It's done that. And now basically that object has got its transform at 0, 0, 0, but it's still in Pro Builder mode. So what you've got to do to actually get that object into a mesh filter is click export. I've already got my export set up to make a prefab, but you can actually make it make OBJ, STL, PLI, asset, or even FBX if you've got the FBX exporter installed. But I'm just going to go for prefab now. So I'll just hit export, and that'll ask me where I want to put it. I'm going to back it in fabs for now. Save it there, and that's basically it. In fact, earlier on I was doing something that made it replace it automatically. I just can't remember what I did, or maybe it was yeah, I was just. But anyway, so now we're going to get the object from my prefabs folder. Not that one. That one. You see, it's also made a mesh filter, which is here. And that's the main part that this has done. It's actually changed the mesh filter. This is what other pivot moving tools don't actually do. So this is actually making a complete object like what you want. So this one has its pivot moved, and this one has got its pivot at the right place. You click on, oh, lost my mouse. Click on that one. Oh, what's going on? Oh no, it did do it. That I was actually on the move thing. For some reason, the collider's not in the right place. But that's what threw me off. If I remove the collider, then it doesn't matter. So that's still a Pro Builder object, which I don't need, and that's the original one. I mean the change one. I don't know if you all got that. I can take any questions on this particular thing. I'm not sure how interested most of you are, but it's something that comes up all the time in my building of stuff. So where it can also be useful is if you wanted to say move that pivot into the corner, because you've also got this thing called Pro Grids. It's another part of Pro Tools. Let's turn on Pro Grids. Pro Grids. And when Pro Grids is on and you grab hold of an object, you start jumping around on pivot on it starts snapping, and you can make it so you can snap everywhere. So like snap up, down, side to side. The problem is it's snapping in that middle thing, and really to make use of Pro Builder, the snapping perfectly, and this is why Pro Builder itself always puts the pivot point in the corner. You need to put the pivot point in perfect snapping. So yeah, you can do that as well. So Pro Builderize this object again, and then we want to move it 0.5 on Z, and yeah, 0.5 on Z, I believe. Position, oh, it's at 1, so we want to go 1.5, I guess. Oh, no, in fact, what I need to do is I need to get this cube at 0. Yeah, so now I'm going to move it 0.5 on Z. And I also need to move it that way. We want to go minus 0.5 on X. Oh, has that done it? I'm not sure. We have to see. When I press freeze transform, we'll know. No, I did it wrong. But that's a good thing about this. You can just carry on doing it. I need to probably move it minus 5 on X now, minus 0.5. Then freeze transform. There you go. Now I've got it in the right place. And now you see how that's lining up with the squares in the grid now perfectly. And this is why I wanted to show you this also, because if you're going to use ProGrids, pretty much every model you're going to use is going to have this transform in the middle. Not going to make ProGrids so usable. And now I can snap in those blocks perfectly because I've moved the transform to the corner and the bottom. That's why also using moving transforms around if you're going to play with ProGrids, Pro Tools in general. And this ProGrids is useful for other objects as well. It doesn't have to be a Pro Builder object. I can just whack a Unity cube in here. Put it at 0. So, and yeah, as you can see, it's out. It will still snap, but it's not snapping it's not snapping exactly in those cubes anymore. Which, I mean, it's still okay, because if you had 2 of them, just duplicate that cube, you can still snap them together like that. But Where it's not so good is it's not lining up with that grid so nicely. You can't plan out, oh, I'm going to have one in that square, one in that lines. Not sure how useful that is to you guys, but again, something I found useful. Right, now let's get on to something that's fun. I'm gonna res a sphere. First of all, the thing I'm going to show you guys now, what you want to do is you need to go to this website. Let's see if it just comes up. Hydra GitHub. There we go. It's there. So it's come up. I've typed in Hedra. Oh, it's got I spelt it wrong. It's Hedera, and this is the site you want. It's made by this guy, who is tags Radiator Toriang. And apparently, the actual code that does this Ivy thing, and it's probably the same code as the real Ivy 2 on the Asset Store is using, was developed in 2006. Yeah, the actual code that everybody seems to be using for these Ivy things was developed a long time ago. But yeah, so you just download the whole thing, download a zip, and then when you've downloaded it, you just drop it into your project. You don't have to import it in the way. You just unpack that folder to your desktop, and then drop it in here. As you can see, I've dropped it in my project there. And as soon as you've dropped that folder into your project, okay, Mimi, bye. Have a good day. Yeah, as soon as you drop that into your project, it's going to start working. So now we want to use it. I'm going to get rid of everything else in the scene. And we will make a sphere. I'm going to turn off ProGrids as well. We don't really need it. And I'm going to put that at 0, 0, 0. All right, and I've kind of forgotten what you do next. I believe we go into here. Oh yeah, as soon as you right click in there, you see at the bottom it says create a new Ivy Hedra, Ivy group. And that's in the center there, but it's nothing at the moment. It's just an empty. So what you have to do is create a profile. And I've already got one in here, I think. Yeah, newly profile. So I just overwrite it. Save. And that's open my profile. Now I can start playing with real Ivy. Sorry, not real Ivy, with this Ivy. Don't want to get the real Ivy creator upset. And basically you just start painting. It's really good. As soon as you, no, you don't. Basically, you click the start painting button first. And what's it saying? It doesn't like you doing anything unless you save the scene. So I'm going to save as default. Now it'll let me paint. So I can click start painting, and now you'll see that on the object. So yeah, maybe I need to make one of those for everything in Unity, because the screen share can see that fine. So yeah, so now you just start painting, and it will just do its own thing. And yeah, you just drag across, and it'll do its own thing. And you can make it go longer by adjusting the length here. I'm going to make another sphere, one a bigger one. change the size of this one, a bit bigger. Get some more ivy on it. Ivy group, start painting. Because I set that for longer, the simulation length, it done a lot more that time. Now, one of the problems you get is if you do it, say down here, it's not doing, it's going up. Okay, I know how to make this problem happen. I'll do it on a cube. Right, so we're going to use the cube now. Start painting. Now if I do this on here, now it's going to start hanging down. Oh, for some reason it's not painting my leaves down there. Leaf density, leaf radius. Oh, that's the size of them, isn't it? Yeah, that should do it. Now if I paint, I should get more leaves. On there, I mean. It's typical when you're doing a tutorial or showing someone something, something goes wrong. For some reason, the leaves aren't painting down there. What I'm going to do is show extra settings. It might be this leaf to sunlight setting. No, what I wanted to show you is basically when the leaves come all the way down these vines, they start they kind of point outwards in the default settings when you get this. And what you need to do is you need to set the leaf to sunlight up fully, I believe, to get it to work. Oh no, down. There you go. That's what it is. Ah, and you see the problem is that those leaves are all pointing the wrong way now. They're not going down the thing. So normally you just put that up. Ah, God, do what I want to do. Let's go for another one. Right. How weird. I wasn't getting this problem earlier. It seems I can either have them going flat or they don't grow at all at the moment. I've never had this problem before. Let's try just less. Mark taper. Yeah, so anyway, like I say, it hasn't done this before to me. Normally it will start going down those vines fine. I'm not sure what has changed, but this was the version that was already in my project, so maybe I changed something earlier. But maybe leaf radius, put that down. I'm going to reset this scene. There must be a setting somewhere here. Collision mask. Maybe it's that. No. Actually, they are spawning. They're just really small. Right. Surface cling. Random spread, collision mask. Cling distance. Branch charts. Yeah, it's actually in the resources channel, Kay. I actually put this in there a long time ago. It's been out for a while, and it's in there in the resources channel. If you just type in Ivy, you should find it. I can't, I'm not for Earth think why it's not going down there. I mean, apart from the leaf sunlight thing, if I change that, I can make them carry on going down, and they get it right most of the time. Why isn't it? Yeah, it's something you've got to play around with yourself. Obviously, I've res I've started to do it in this scene, and I'm not able to show you quite what I wanted to show you. Obviously, sometimes you actually want these branches that are going down to not have leaves on, like real ivy. I mean, draw it all over the place and have it so you don't even have um, leaves on it at all, and it can just be dead ivy and mess of dead ivy. Suppose if you did it on a plane, you could demonstrate that. Create a plane, and then what I want to do is turn the leaves off. So for now, I'll probably just go with leaf density. No leaves yet when density is 0. And now I can go start painting and sort of just do lines like that and just let it carry on. Which is kind of cool. You must have seen a wall like this before, somebody's house that's got all this over it and like no leaves because it's all dead. But oh, it's going a bit mad. It's trying to get off the plane. In fact, that's completely lagged out my Unity. I'm going to kill all these Ivy groups. This is what it is. Oh, it's this one. Oh my god. What I just did on that plane has completely lagged out my Unity. I've got no control now. Yeah, no, it's just grown. It's just drawn too much. You can occasionally do this with Unity. I did it earlier actually with there we go. I'm going to be able to delete it now. Come on, delete. I did it earlier with Gaia. With the old Gaia, you've got this thing called a visualizer, and you can set the resolution of the visualizer up much more. Basically, the visualizer is just a load of spheres that are different colors that are on your terrain. It's kind of telling you where the textures are going to be placed, etc. And earlier on, I made the visualizer much bigger, and then I whacked the resolution up, and that just killed my Unity completely. Well, not earlier, actually, yesterday. In fact, I was talking to you about it, Brad, wasn't I? Come on, let me delete it. Yeah, that's what's happened to my Unity. I just can't delete the blooming thing. Come on, let me delete it. Ah, go on, delete. Still not having it. I've actually pressed delete and it won't delete. Delete. There we go. Got it. Hey, got my Unity back. Right, let's go back to the plane. I'm determined to make Ivy drop off the side of this thing and carry on. I just can't remember what I did. Branch chance, growth sun, step by distance. Oh look, I didn't notice that before as well. It has actually drawn some spline thing there. It's kept the splines that it's drawn. Not sure how to get rid of those. Oh, I know. It's just get rid of them down here in the actual asset. So just bin them all. That probably only just happened because I just have been doing them over and over again without binning the one I just done. I mean, there's a lot more things in here. You can make it into mesh. You can merge different Ivy groups that you've done. It has got wind in the shader as well. Well, sort of wind. It's a little bit of flutter. Yeah, I mean, the paid version on Unity Asset Store is probably quite good, but I don't think I would ever be unhappy with this, apart from it not playing nicely and when I'm trying to show people stuff. All right, let's see if we can. Weird. It just doesn't want to grow off things. And it's the first time it's ever done this to me. Anyway, I could play with this all day. I don't think I'm going to make it play nicely, but it normally does work fine. And you'll see that if you, I mean, if I was to actually just delete it, bring it back in, it might work properly. I've obviously played around with it so much, I've changed a setting or something, although it was working fine earlier today. So I'm going to delete the whole thing, bring it back in. If I can find it. Hedra. Okay, I found it. Alright, let's minimize that. Minimize that. I can't moan really because most of my tutorials or when I've been showing stuff has worked fine, and usually that's the time when something's not going to work when you're trying to show other people. Okay. Let's bring it back in. Create a new blank scene. Put a cube in. Actually, that's one thing I did. I put it as 0. Ah, maybe that's it. Maybe that is it, actually. It knows 0's probably the ground, I guess. Might be that Pro Builder's on as well. So I'll just move it up a bit. And I'll scale it. Make it big. Now put Ivy in. Create an Ivy group. Save the scene. And see what it does this time. No, it's going the wrong way. I think that is actually default though. It goes the wrong way. I mean, that's quite easy to change. You change the gravity. So you'd expect the gravity to be in the normal controls. I suppose you have to go into extra. There we go, gravity. I wonder if it's less or more it needs. No, it's still going up. That's quite good. I like the way it did that one. You often see house with that pattern on. So gravity, it's going to go down. Gravity weight, we want more gravity. Surface cling, I'm not so worried about surface cling. Plant follow. Now will it go down? That's kind of working better now. If we change that up, do another one. Ah, it's still not doing it. Maybe I have to get that up there as well. Well, it's doing a few more leaves down those bits, but try that. Ah, I know. There we go. It did one at least. So yeah, you just got to play around with it, guys, and eventually you'll get it looking like you want. Like I say, most of the time I've actually been doing this in actual regions where there's lots of stuff, and you know this might be on something else or overhanging a cave or something, and it's played nicely. Time. I don't know why it's being a bit of a bugger today, but it's obviously got a lot of settings, so one of them's not. Yeah. So yeah, that's really it. I know I rambled on a bit, but I didn't really have anything set for today. Guys, I just thought I'd show you some stuff that I've been playing around with lately. Um, it's definitely good for a free asset, this, and you know, yeah. I mean, it's been out for a while, but this is. Oh, look, it did it nicer that time. Yeah, so definitely bringing this back in has made it a bit better. Um, but yeah, it's one of those assets that's actually fun to play with, even if you're not going to use it. Because oh look, that one worked well. Oh, lost the screen. Yeah, that one did it perfectly. I don't know why it's being funny, but obviously you can see, you know, if it gets in the right place, it likes it. And what I was trying to show you, what I originally did that, you see all those leaves are they're kind of horizontal and not vertical, and you would expect them to be vertical. Well, that is this leaf sunlight control, and it's going towards the sun, so they're pointing to the sun. If you drop that down, 0, then do another one, they will start pointing down with gravity instead of going towards the sun. There we go. It's funny how it just starts playing right, and I hadn't even changed the setting. You see those ones are all pointing downwards now, rather than flat like these ones over to the side here. That's just that leaf sunlight. I haven't got a clue why that just started playing nicely. literally, I didn't change anything between doing this one on this side to doing that one on that side, but I don't know. Oh, maybe it's sun direction. Wait a sec, have I got a light in here? Where is it? It's pointing that way. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's sun direction. That's maybe what is affecting them, whether they're growing or not. They're growing on the sunny side. So if I do it here, start painting, do one here. Yep, it's sun direction. That's why I couldn't work it out. Basically, they grow more on the leaves grow more in the direction the sun's pointing. If I bring my sun up here, you can see what I'm talking about. There it is. If I can I get that over here? Yeah, that do that. But yeah, you can see my sun is pointing towards them, and on the other side, it's not. It's the non-sunny side. Well, there you go. I've just worked something out at office hours that I didn't even know myself. It's actually affects how much they grow to what sun direction the sun is facing. I wonder. I was determined to work that out. I should have really given up halfway through, but I haven't really got anything else for office hours anyway today. So, but yeah, that's cool. Uh, um, I think you can. Um, I'm not sure if you can do anything with this at runtime. I know that's one thing. The other one on the asset store can do. Real Ivy, it can do things at runtime. So you can maybe growing at runtime. I'll quickly show you the shader while we're at it. If you click on one of these, and obviously got the leaf shader up here, you've got a little bit of shake and shake amount. It's not great. It's not using a wind zone or anything. If you put the shake up too much, the size of the leaf would change, and a shake amount. Turn shake amount up. Look, they go a bit weird. The leaves. So you've got to be quite sparing with it. You only want them to move a tiny bit, and you've also got a speed control for it as well. You can do it really fast, or make them do it really slow. And how I would say to use this is have it sort of fairly fast, but hardly doing anything. So drop it down like that, so you can hardly notice them. But yeah, so the wind isn't great. I don't know whether the other Real Ivy has asset has got better wind. I think there is something to do with leaf colours as well. I haven't actually got that turned on at the moment, but you can have it so they change colours massively. I think it is on, yeah, because some of them are sort of more yellow than others, like that one there. See, it's more yellow than this one above it. So this is going between this gradient between green and yellow, but you could have that whatever you like. You could have, you could have red, purple leaves, whatever colour you want, and that would just change the shader. I think it's even cooler now that I know it runs with the sun. Is there any questions? What is the time? I have managed to ramble on for an hour about that. I didn't even realise. Yeah, sorry guys if I was rambling on a bit, but it's kind of a cool asset to play with. Yeah, I did. Yeah, last week I was a bit annoyed because I wanted to do a lot more with the cave tutorial. That's why I'm actually building it and bringing it into the world. But yeah, I probably will do more Pro Builder tutorials as I go on because ever since that one I've kind of been using it quite a lot. and I'm definitely going to be using it for changing pivots. The first thing I showed you to do is I can't see any point of me getting any other pivot program or even taking the model back out into Blender now that I know you can do that. I probably will make a proper tutorial on that one for our wiki, sometime only small. But yeah, I thought it's probably the thing I'm going to do more in Pro Builder than anything else. Use it to change pivots, sadly, and caves, make paved caves. I don't know if you were recording that, Les, but I hope not.
Hey, no, I wasn't recording, but Carsten is.
Yeah, Cast can have it. He can have a laugh with Artemis later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If I had actually planned that tutorial, I would have probably. Well, I might have never worked out. I might have not worked out it was the sun, because literally that's never happened to me. I've used this ASIC tons of times, and I've never had the problem of it not doing that. I mean, I don't even know how I suddenly worked out that was the sun. I think it was because it suddenly worked on this side. I thought, what must it be then? But yeah, cool asset anyway for free. Yeah, thanks everyone. Hopefully I'll come up with something a bit better for next week and less me rambling on and trying to work out why my asset's not working.
Or I might feel better next week and be able to do something myself. Sorry, I'm a bit quiet, guys.
Yeah. That I mean that's also. I knew you weren't you weren't very well yesterday, and you had internet problems today. So
Yeah, I'm not having a good time at the moment.
Yeah, so I was just trying to come up with something to fill it in.
No, it was informative, and yeah, I like the ivy.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I'm not sure how much I use it. The reason I got it out was for the cave because it's a perfect thing to cover up that join. You know where the cave meets the Unity terrain, or a few rocks, but it's just nice in a cave entrance.
Oh, just a note on Pushball, guys. Haven't forgotten about it. Just been delayed. Trying to get back onto it in the next couple of days to get that sorted out with the GitHub Hinkley.
Yeah, that's also. I mean, I want to get involved in that, but I've also got my slight own project on now. My cave thing has expanded now, Les, and I'm going to make it like a death trap dungeon. So you spawn underground.
Have you actually seen Indigo Indigamer Jonas Zoo?
No, but I was actually planning on adding the Raiders of the Lost Ark boulder into the cave.
Go and have a look at Indigamer Jonas. Is a region that Richie and I put together as a part one, but we never really got to do a part two. Have a look at Indigamer Jonas so that you don't use similar ideas and that yours could form a part two. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm assuming Indiana Jones is Indiana Jones temple.
It's a play on the name. It's in a temple. This one.
Yeah,
and yours is a cave, so they're kind of comparable.
Yeah, I mean, I thought of that boulder thing because the first Tomb Raider game I ever played, I had that thing from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the boulder, because that's also why I'm doing Volcano, because I thought, well, what's the perfect traps? One of them is going to be a lava lake, and you've got to get across it without touching it, and every one of my traps is going to send you back to the beginning, so it's going to be quite annoying. But I also plan a scoreboard that doesn't score you; it tells you where you died. So it says like, "Les was decapitated by the swinging axe," or something like that. So everyone that looks at the scoreboard can see where people got to. But yeah, my idea. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's over. Thanks for coming. Like I say, sorry I took ages to work out why that wasn't resin, but I'm glad I did because it's probably quite important. Like, how we know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. Cheers, Zinkley. Cheers, Carson. See you soon.
Okay. Yep. See everybody next week.
And Cindy and Mark.